Hello, everybody. Well, I have finally done it. I have been promising you all that I would get this YouTube journey channel up and running, and voila, here we are. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is So Craftastic. My name is Randy. I am the owner and founder of RS Quilts and Crafts, or better known as RSQNC, as I have shortened it. Mainly for my bag tags because it's smaller, and RS Quilts and Crafts is a very big mouthful. But I am Randy. My last name starts with an S. I quilt, I craft, I do all kinds of things. So it kind of encompasses everything, but I wanted something a little bit different for my blog and my YouTube. So craftasticness is kind of my soul. So welcome to So Craftastic. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a kind of overview since, this is my first video. It's probably going to be horrible. I apologize in advance. But just a little background for me, if you haven't read my blog, my initial blog post. I am an older mom of 3. I was a stay-at-home mom for a very long time. And when my children became teenagers and were off doing their own thing, I decided I wanted to go back to school, and I became a respiratory therapist. I work at a very busy hospital. I have always been crafty. My grandmother, my meme, taught me how to sew. She taught me how to use a sewing machine. She taught me how to crochet. She tried to teach me how to knit, but hand-eye coordination was not my thing back then. I did love to crochet, and crocheting was my go-to craft for a very long time, probably about until my kids were probably in grade school. So for those of that don't know, my husband is from Italy. I actually used to live in Italy for a very long time, and at one point we actually moved to Spain. We lived in southern Spain for about 4 years, and that is where I found my obsession with quilting. It was very happenstance. It just happened to be we'd gone to the U.S. Navy base, and they were having a craft fair, and I saw this booth. This lady was making quilts, and I was obsessed immediately, absolutely enchanted, obsessed. So I started researching everything I could find on quilting. And again, this was early, maybe 2000s. The internet wasn't all that great, but whatever I could find, every time I went home, I would buy books. I'd go to my local fabric stores and try to learn as much as I could. And I'm kind of self-taught. I did take a few classes here and there, but mainly I taught myself how to sew and quilt. And that was my obsession. It still is my obsession. I'm obsessed with fabric. We moved back to Italy, and I was making quilts for friends and family. And I just had a lot of people saying, "Oh my goodness, can you teach me how to do that?" So I started teaching. I taught quilting classes for a couple years, and it was a lot of fun. It really gave me an outlet for my creativity. And when we ended up moving back to the States in 2010, I started to be exposed to a lot of different other crafts. When I went back to school, I discovered my obsession with planners and planning and list making, and it was so vital to me to have some way to keep track of not only my school schedule, my clinical schedule, but also my kids' schedules as teenagers, and my husband's schedule. He was working night shifts then, so a lot of the transportation and organization and scheduling fell to me. So it was vital that I had a way to keep myself organized. And being ADHD and neurodivergent, I squirrel very, very, very easily. So it was a lifesaver, and it really did get me through school. And planners just became a part of my life. It really did morph into everything else that I do as far as my creativity and my craft business. The craft business kind of organically started. I want to say the idea was always in my head, but when we moved here, the basement wasn't finished. I really didn't have a dedicated craft space, so it really wasn't feasible. And then around 2010, we decided to finish the basement, and my husband so graciously allowed me to have all of this beautiful space for my studio craft business. And I actually started out 2010, 2020 was COVID, and I was making a lot. I was asked to make scrub caps, and that's kind of where the business aspect of my crafting came into. I was asked to make a couple scrub caps, and then I was asked to make more scrub caps, and it just kind of snowballed into I was, taking orders and things like that. After the basement was finished, I had a little scrub cap business, and then I found my very first bag pattern, and everybody that knows me knows I am absolutely obsessed, have always been obsessed with purses and bags. I can never have enough. Poor husband, he's been so great. He supports my bag habit. And when I started learning how to make them and finding these amazing patterns, I started sharing my love, and then I was getting requests in custom orders. And so once the basement was fully furnished and finished, I opened my business. In 2022, I started RS Quilts and Crafts, and um, I've been going ever since. It's been a dream to have my own little craft business. Whoops. And I do fairs. I do craft art shows, and it's been great. So I started my TikTok shop for my craft business under my RSQ&C business name. And so some of you may know me from there. A lot of you may know me from my personal channel, which I've kind of turned into now more of a content creation with my scrapbooking and planner organization and things like that. This is just one way to marry those two sides of who I am and what I do. And I love stickers. I love paper. I love scrapbook paper. I love collecting crafting supplies. And anybody that knows anything knows that collecting and using your hobby materials are kind of two different hobbies, honest to goodness. So it really is just a way for me to marry those two sides of my personality and have one place where I can share my love of all those crafting things. I do make my own stickers. I make a lot of my own supplies and things right here in my studio. I make magnetic bookmarks. I make sublimation. I got into when I first got my cutting machine in Crickets, and I actually got into the cutting machine as a way of embellishing my quilts and making labels and things like that. And then it kind of morphed. And again, like I said, when I got into bag making, it just snowballed. Everybody knows that hobbying and things, it's a rabbit hole. So when you get into one craft, you're automatically just going to morph into everything else on the spectrum. And that's kind of what I did. A lot of what I do is bag making. It makes up a huge part of my business. And so I just wanted to kind of show you a few of the bags that I make and ones that you will find at my show or on my website. They're all handmade. I do a lot of my stitching. I will post a video of my studio, and you can see what my craft cave looks like and kind of like what my toys are that I use to make a lot of the things that I make. But this is a big part of what I do apart from the planning and the journaling. So if you're not familiar with that side of my business, then welcome. I'm so happy to have you. But I really am hoping that this will be a place to share my obsession with crafting and all of its idiosyncrasies with all of my followers, and merge my two worlds into one and make it just a really fun place for people to come and take a peek inside my crazy brain and just enjoy my love of crafting. So thank you so much. I really hope to see you again. Don't forget to click and follow and subscribe to my channel. I hope to post weekly with either a bag making video or a journaling scrapbooking video. There'll be lots of things to see. I will have make with me or plan with me videos, and I also do have a few affiliates that I am affiliated with, and I love some of these products are products that I absolutely love, and I have chosen to promote them because there are things that I use in my business and in my daily crafting life. So you will see some of those that I will be sharing with you over time. And don't forget to check the link in my blog, follow that. I will keep that updated as time goes on as well. Hopefully, I'll be able to do weekly posts. That is my goal. I am very open to suggestion to anything that you would like to see, anything that you've seen. That you would like more in-depth videos on, and any suggestions for any way that I can help you learn about this awesome world of crafting. So again, thank you so much and welcome to my channel.